Welcome back to the Walk the Dog podcast. On this episode, we're going to talk about things that I would miss in the apocalypse.
And I'm going to talk about things that I won't miss in the apocalypse, or things that I would actually be looking forward to.
You want to start us off?
Yeah, now, I have a question before we get into this too far.
Okay.
When we talk about apocalypse here, is there a specific type of apocalypse that you're referring to? Like, is this a zombie apocalypse, or is this just the end of mankind as we know it? What's the context?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. In my mind, I always go to zombie apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want, we could just say zombie apocalypse.
That's fine. I'm happy with that. Because it doesn't really affect my first answer.
Okay.
But it kind of does. So one thing that I would be looking forward to in the apocalypse, or the zombie apocalypse, is I would never have to iron again.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I mean, think about that for just a moment. Now, where I work, we don't technically have to iron anything, but I'm always telling the people that I work with, my employees or the people that I train, that's what I do, I'm a trainer, that, I never iron, but secretly I do.
You tell people that you don't iron, but you do?
Well, I don't say that I don't iron. I insinuate that I don't iron. I talk about the fact that our dress code is very loose, and I don't want them to mess that up, because if they messed it up, then I'd have to start ironing, which every once in a while I actually break out the iron. But I hate ironing. It is one of the worst things in the world, because one, it's just not fun. Two, I'm always afraid that I'm going to mess it up. I mean,
you have destroyed a few of my shirts.
Not intentionally.
Not intentionally, no.
Not intentionally, but it's true. Our ironing board is a bit archaic, and more importantly, the ironing pad is too thin. And so the ironing board, made out of a waffle material, has a tendency to press through permanently on said ironed items like shirts and dresses and whatever. So anyway, just think about it. You never have to iron again. You don't have to worry about how you're dressed, because especially in the zombie apocalypse, it's not like zombies are ironing anything. So I won't miss that.
That's pretty great. I relate to that on a spiritual level, because a couple of weeks ago, some of my friends were getting married and I was helping set up for the wedding. And I got put on ironing tablecloth duty. And I ironed a tablecloth for like an hour, and then I went to put it on the table, and it was still so wrinkly. I almost cried trying to iron tablecloths.
So you just think about that. In the zombie apocalypse, you don't have to iron ever again. No more ironing.
That's pretty amazing.
Okay? You?
I would miss Q-tips.
What?
I would miss Q-tips so much. If I shower in the morning and I forget to use Q-tips the whole day, periodically, I will be annoyed.
What do you mean annoyed?
Like, I'll feel like there's like nasty wax in my ear.
You stick the Q-tips in your ears?
Yeah. I know you're not supposed to do it. I know it's bad for you, but I do it.
We need to take you to an ear doctor so that he can look inside, or she could look inside your ear canal and say, you have, how old are you? Yes, that many years of packed wax in your ears. You're not supposed to do that.
No, it's the way that you do it. The technique. There's a way to do it and not push wax in your ear. But
I thought the same thing, but it's not true.
I would miss Q-tips.
Just for that reason.
Yeah, for feeling clean. Yeah.
For feeling clean? Man, you're going to have some real problems in the apocalypse if that's what your concern is. Number two for me, that something I would really be looking forward to in the zombie apocalypse, is that you can pass gas whenever and wherever you want. No one is going to say a thing about it. No one's going to look at you funny. Nobody's going to give you that, I can't believe you just passed gas in the elevator or whatever. Because, I mean, think about it. You're surrounded by rotting flesh. So what could smell worse than rotting flesh? Certainly not a flatulence. So, I mean, total freedom. You don't have to iron. Pass gas whenever you want. Nobody's going to look funny at you. The smell, again, it's wonderful. It's just the freedom to just pass gas whenever you want to.
I have strong objections to this. Not only because I live with you and your farts are extremely loud, but you're going to make shelters. And those shelters are going to be very small, tight, enclosed spaces.
But nobody's going to care. I mean,
I can say that I would care.
You would care, but then I'd be like, really? I mean, have you smelled the guy that's trying to get inside the shelter right now? Look at his arm that's falling off. It's putrescent. There's maggots crawling out of it. It stinketh, to use King James language. So, yeah, passing gas whenever and wherever you want. Awesome.
I'm going to miss, and I don't know what the name is for this, but you know that thing, like when you're walking on a sidewalk and you're going this way and a stranger's going this way and you almost run into each other. So
you're going to miss that?
Yeah, you do that weird sidestep thing. I'm going to miss that because there are all of these awkward moments that happen in our society because we want to be polite. And I think they're really funny. But that's not going to happen in the apocalypse. You're going to be running. Like, you're not going to have time to worry about, oh, if I accidentally rub this person's shoulder, they're going to think I'm so weird.
Exactly. I mean,
I'm going to miss that.
You could. That's too philosophically deep for me. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're going to miss that, I suppose. I think that's worse than the Q-tip thing. By far.
You want to fart. That's your biggest dream for the apocalypse.
Well, I didn't say it was the biggest. I said it's one of the things. It's not the biggest. This is not in any particular order, by the way, for me. So. That's true. One of the things that I definitely would be looking forward to is sleeping in. I mean, you don't have to get up really for anything. You get up whenever you want, for whatever reason. There's no time card to punch. There's no, I'm going to be late to work. There's no, I hope the traffic isn't bad today. None of that stuff. I could sleep in. You know, what are you going to do? You get up, you're going to go run from some zombies or maybe, get some food, which you'll have to do stuff like that. But I mean, if you don't want to go get the food now, you go get it later. Just sleep. Sleep as late as you want. You want to do a 12-hour day? That's fine. You want to take a nap in the middle of the freaking afternoon at 2:30? You can do that. Sleep. Oh, it'd be awesome. Absolutely wonderful. Can't wait.
I can
wish the zombie apocalypse would happen right now.
It's a pretty good one.
It is. Tell us something you're going to miss.
Shaving. I'm going to miss having clean-shaven legs. And I noticed that, like, for instance, in The Walking Dead... I hate
shaving.
Well, I know. I understand for you because you're a guy, so you have to shave your face. It's a very, like, sensitive area. And I don't like the act of shaving. I don't think that most girls enjoy that. But I do enjoy, like, the feeling of having smooth legs. And I've noticed that in apocalyptic media, like The Walking Dead, for instance, these girls don't have hairy armpits, they don't have hairy legs, and I'm like, I understand it's a TV show, like, maybe we don't necessarily want to see that, but it's an unrealistic expectation, so I'm going to miss having some nice, clean-shaven legs.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. I think that TV and media in particular portrays things that they don't really thought it through. I consider those plot holes, personally. Maybe there is an entire supply somewhere hidden of, some kind of chic or whatever. But yeah, I don't think that's realistic. Right. So you're right. There's going to be a lot of hairy people. It reminds me of the time when I was a kid. It was the first time I ever saw a woman that had hairy armpits. I was at a swimming pool, and she was standing on the edge of the pool, and she went to dive in, so she put her hands above her head, and it's pretty clear for her the zombie apocalypse had already happened.
That reminds me, one time I was in high school, and I don't know what we were doing. We were having like a field day or something, and I had forgotten to shave my armpits that day, and I was wearing a tank top. And I was like pulling my hair back or something, and one of my classmates was making like direct eye contact with my hairy armpit. And I like called him out on it. I was like, "What are you staring at?" And he's like, I don't know. Like he...
The Q-tip that's hanging had been snagged on the stubble of your hair. Gross. That's awesome. Well, there could be worse things, that's for sure. Here is something I'm really looking forward to. Littering.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, think of it. Nobody is going to care that you littered. Nobody. No tickets. Not that you're driving down the road and throwing garbage out anyway, because you're probably not going to be driving down the road. By the way, another plot hole in a lot of these apocalyptic, especially zombie shows. Come on, where are you getting all this gasoline to drive these cars? But anyway, just throw crap on the ground. Who cares? Nobody's going to care. Again, what are you going to do? Throw it on top of an appendage that has fallen off of a rotting zombie, which is worse? A candy wrapper, which is not going to probably be many of those anyway. But yeah, I mean, I'm done with this. Poof, just throw it on the ground. And if somebody complains, I'm going to be, really, what are you complaining about? I mean, look around. It's pretty horrible right now. The grass has not been mown, and for however long this has been going on, nobody keeps anything up. Obviously, people are not ironing. People are not shaving. And their ears are filled with wax. So who cares if you throw something on the ground? Think about the freedom that you have. Lint in your pocket, on the ground. If you find a cigarette, not that I smoke, but if you did, done with it, nobody to complain about, hey, don't throw cigarette butts there. And you could take your dog for a walk and it can poop wherever it wants.
I think we're learning a lot about you as a person through this. I think you just want to be a slob.
I don't think that's true. I think that that's a gross overcharacterization of who I am as a person. I'm much deeper than that. But yeah, littering, that'll absolutely be fantastic. Now, before we get to your next one, I do want to say a word from our Fictitionary sponsor. This is going to come in very handy in the zombie apocalypse, potentially anyway. This is called the Never Gone Super Compass by Westmans. The Never Gone Super Compass, or NSC, is a precision-engineered guidance device guaranteed to provide accurate directional navigation. It's powered by miniature atomic magnets. Its measurement location is accurate up to 1/1000th of a degree. Made of a new synthetic material called tririlium, the NSC is not only virtually indestructible, but it's lightweight, weighing less than 6 ounces, and it is waterproof. The orienting arrow, as well as the letters and numbers, do glow in the dark, making nighttime readability possible. And speaking of nighttime, it also has a built-in solar-powered mini flashlight. So even when the sun goes down, you never will with Never Gone Super Compass by Westmans. So what's next on your list?
Thank you, sponsor.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, the sponsor this week. I am definitely going to miss when you're using your GPS and Siri mispronounces your destination or road name. Like, for instance, we live around the Newberry area, but the GPS says Newbury.
Yeah, I can't say Barry.
Right. So I'm just going to really miss that because you're not going to be using a GPS in the apocalypse because your phone's going to be dead.
So why are you going to miss it? Is it just because you think it's funny, or what's the missing, or that you won't have GPS at all?
Well, I will miss GPS because I have little to no sense of direction. But
True.
It's funny. And I'm going to miss that.
Well, with the Never Gone Super Compass, you won't have to worry about direction because you'll have that. But yeah, you won't have mispronunciations anymore, like Newbury. So it seems minor to me, but okay. Here's something I'm really looking forward to with the zombie apocalypse, and that is the ability to go up and touch works of art or ruins.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right? I mean, was it last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember. In the summer, we went for the first time to Washington, D.C. I had
2
been...
years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I had been years ago for work, but you and me and your mother went not too long ago. And one of the things that was really frustrating to me when we went into different museums, depending on what the work of art was, you weren't allowed to touch it. You could only get so close. If it was something really famous or something really important, you had to stay, a couple feet back, and Right. It was in this class. Or when my wife and I went to Italy, we went to Rome, and I was really disappointed that you were not able to go up and touch the ruins. Like, certain ones you could, but you could only get so close. Like, we went into the Colosseum, and I bought these tickets so that you could go underground, which was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really looking forward to being underground and seeing what was underneath the stage of the Colosseum and all of that. And so we got to go down, but then there's like this blockade, and I'm like, we're not allowed to go into the tunnel part, and oh no, we don't want anyone to go there, and so you couldn't touch it. You couldn't go down that. In the zombie apocalypse, I can walk right down the Colosseum tunnelways, touch everything. I can go to Greece, Athens, Greece, and go up and touch all of the columns of the different, buildings and temples that are there, statues that, like in Florence, we weren't allowed to touch the David. You can look at it, take pictures, but you can't touch it. And I go up and, pat him on the foot or something. The Mona Lisa, if you want to go see the Mona Lisa, you can go up and, oh, look at that. I think she has a mustache. Whatever you want to do. There's no restrictions in the zombie apocalypse with artwork, with ancient ruins, all that stuff.
Assuming you can get transportation to all of these famous places.
That definitely would be a potential problem. It may take some time to get over there, if you could get over there at all. But, I'm just thinking big picture here.
Yeah.
And again, if it's like it is in TV land, I can go wherever I want because there's going to be plenty of gasoline. But yeah, I can touch any artwork that I want to, no restrictions. Go up and smack the statue on the face, whatever you want to do. It's great. I'm not talking about defacing anything
which
or
inevitably
damaging.
Will happen.
I know that's what will happen.
But it will be nice to get to.
And I understand the restrictions because if everybody went up and touched it, it would start to, destroy the artwork. But in the zombie apocalypse, nobody's going to care about stuff like that.
Well, speaking of restrictions, I was in Germany a couple of months ago, and we had one of our German friends who lives in Cologne, Germany, was taking us on a tour of the city, and he takes us to, oh man, I think it was a grave, but a grave that was above ground. I know there's a name for that. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I don't either.
But anyways, we're looking at all these different graves, and we come to this one. He says, yeah, you guys can all go sit on it and take a picture. And we're like, no, we don't want to do that. That seems...
On the grave?
I think it was a grave. It was either a grave or like an old ruin of the city, since Cologne was basically leveled during, World War II, yeah. But anyways, so the whole group is kind of like, no, we want to be respectful. And he goes, no, you're allowed to do this. We do this every year. So we all get up and get ready to take a picture. And this worker from like 20 feet away goes, excuse me, you can't be on that. And so we all got off, and yeah, we got in trouble.
If that would have been the zombie apocalypse, never would have happened.
That's true.
That security guard would probably be a zombie anyway, so...
So I think that I'll make this my last one, but along the lines of artwork and statues, I'm really going to miss the production and the display of bad artwork. So for instance, if you go into an art museum, especially a modern art museum, you're going to see a lot of paintings and sculptures that look so ugly, and yet they're framed and put on display because they're supposed to have these deep philosophical meanings. But it's just always so fun to look and observe bad artwork and kind of laugh at it. But when the zombie apocalypse happens, like, the production of bad artwork, I assume, is going to go down pretty drastically.
Well, now, why do you assume that?
Well, I don't think that people will be spending a lot of time making bad artwork. I could be wrong, but that's just my guess.
Well, I mean, you're not going to be spending any time on shaving or cleaning out your ears from wax, so...
So you're saying, in this scenario, I'm the one making the bad art.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that people will have time to do those things, so... I don't know. We can't argue with it. Because here's the thing, how I feel about art. Art and beauty is always in the eye of the beholder, so... Maybe there will be bad artwork and everybody will just consider it good because...
The standards are lower.
Yeah, because I've touched everything and ruined it. So now, oh, look, you took a stick and a stone and you stuck them together. Woohoo! It's the next Mona Lisa. Well, she's not a statue, but you get the point.
Why don't you give us your last one?
Well, so this one was a little hard for me to choose because there's a lot of things when I think about that I'd be looking forward to when it comes to the zombie apocalypse, and as kind of going back and forth between them, it was hard for me to make that final decision. But one of the things that I definitely would be looking forward to in the zombie apocalypse, and this is going to sound a little bit trite, but it's true, I will never have to choose the right checkout line again. I hate getting in line, and I have this choice. And because, usually I have very few items. And so I'm looking at one of the express checkouts.
Right.
And they both have 2 or 3 people in the line. And I'm trying to guess, which one of those should I choose? Right? Because if you choose left, then the right one's going to go faster and vice versa. And I mean, it happened to me the other day. I'm standing there literally almost until, for so long, someone almost came up and got in front of me, which would have made it worse. So I'm looking left and looking right, and finally I make the choice. And wouldn't you know it, as soon as I do that, as soon as I commit, someone gets in the other line on the left. I can't go over there now. And the lady who's at the front of the line realizes she doesn't have any cash on her. So it messed up the whole thing. But in a zombie apocalypse, there will be grocery stores, but there's no line. I mean, you just go get whatever you want. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to worry about whether somebody forgot their checkbook or whether their debit card doesn't work. I swear to God, this thing works. I put money in last night. Or I can't believe that it's denying my card. Whatever it is. There's always an excuse, or there's always a reason. Or, are you sure this isn't BOGO? And then they got to run back. Oh, I forgot. Can I stand? Can you hold my plate? No more of that. I will just go in. And the other thing is, choice is going to be very limited when it comes to groceries to begin with.
Well, and the form of payment, too, will not be credit or debit. It's going to be who has the biggest baseball bat.
That's exactly right. And how much barbed wire do you have wrapped around it? Or how sharp is your sword? Or how many bullets do you have left in your gun? Payment will totally be dictated by the biggest, the strongest, the baddest, the sharpest, the meanest, the toughest. But even at that, even because I won't be any of those things, I can come back behind and pick up the scraps. But who cares? I don't have to. There's no more, do I go left? Do I go? It's all solved for me.
Right.
It's all taken care of. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something I definitely will be looking forward to in the zombie apocalypse, not having to choose. So I don't know if you've seen this or not, but mine, there's kind of an overall theme. Have you picked up on it?
You're getting to enjoy or not have to deal with everyday annoyances of life.
That's not inaccurate, but freedom. I have all kinds of freedom.
America!
America! Scott, the zombie apocalypse will make America great again.
Oh, no.
Because of all the freedom I'm going to have. Pretty much do, within reason, whatever you want, and nobody's going to care that much.
Right.
So,
you just might die.
That is a distinct possibility. I personally think I would survive quite well in the zombie apocalypse. As you can see from my list, I've thought this through pretty intently. So, is there a theme for yours, an overarching theme?
A theme for mine? I don't think that there's a theme for mine. I think it's just...
Yeah, you kind of jump around a little bit.
All of life.
You'll miss all of life today.
Life as we know it.
I'm looking forward to the zombie apocalypse, so bring it on. Whatever we need to do to help expedite that. If somebody out there in CDC land can come up with a nice virus that just makes sure I'm immune to it. I want to hang around to see what happens. I want to be able to pass gas whenever I want to. I want to throw garbage on the ground. Those are things I'm looking forward to, so just don't kill me off.
I'll start hoarding Q-tips and we'll be okay. All right, we'll bark at you next week.
Have a good one.